Today's a high intent mound day. Definitely more of a command focus, but looking to get to 95% of my max velo. So 87, 88 today. What up, Smitty? But I'm only gonna be throwing fastball splitter, or sinker splitter, I should say. Ditching the cutter, and I'm going to next cycle start working on a slider. But just right now, focus on sinker splitter. I don't need to throw in another pitch too soon. Get the splitter to be working in the zone. Get the fastball velo up. That combo by itself is already diabolical. What's up, BWW? Another beautiful day out today. Next week is Velo Day, which is also exciting. What up, Apple? What up, Mike? So I always start off my days doing about 15 seconds per muscle group with Theragun. You could do the same thing with foam roll or lacrosse ball, and if you follow me, you'll hear me say this all the time. But I just love the Theragun. Gets the blood flowing. It's nice and easy, convenient, and the Theragun definitely high price point. But for me, I have the money to afford it, so it's worth it for me. There's definitely cheaper options that will get you similar results. What up, Mark? What up, Robert? What up, Big Country? Welcome to the live. What up, Gail? We're throwing high intent off the mound today, just shooting for like 87, 88, 95% of my max. Not going for not a max intent day, high intent. That's one thing that a lot of people, I think, get wrong, is they go max intent too often. So how I structure my throwing is low, medium, high, max. And this week in particular is medium, high, low, medium, high, low. So yesterday was like a medium kind of day. Today was a high intent day. And then tomorrow will be low. And then same thing, medium, high, low. And then Sunday off. And then next week will be more like, it's going to be a low, medium, low, low, medium, low, and then low, high, low. And I'm sorry, not high, max, low, max, low. So we're just shooting for max intent day next Friday. And hopefully I can surpass 92. What up, baseball goat? What up, Carl? How are we all doing today? Hopefully you're getting outside at some point today. It's an awesome day to get outside. What up, Jeff? If you have any questions about my training, about anything at all, leave it down below. Be happy to chat with you. What up, Chris? Thank you for liking the live. What up, Eric? What up, Junior? So again, for those of you just showing up, warming up right now, I'd like to do 15 seconds per muscle group with the Theragun. We're going to be doing high intent on the mound, not max, high intent. So 95% of my max is what I would consider to be high intent. Low intent, I would consider to be sub 80% of your max. And then medium intent in the like 85 to 90% range, which sounds a little bit high for low and medium, but a lot of people say, oh, I'm throwing 50% effort, but they're throwing like 80, which I don't really follow that kind of math. I follow like actual math. So if your max velo is 92, today is a 95% day for me. I'm going to be, the top line velo for me is 87. If it was truly a 50% day, then I'd be throwing 45 or whatever it is, 46. What up, Ajax? What up, David? What up, Chet? So my warm-up's pretty monotonous. I do the same thing pretty much every day. What up, Wayne? I start with Theragun on every part of my body. Then I'll do what's called RPR, Reflexive Productive Reset, which targets certain pressure points on your body. What up, Thudran? And after I target the pressure points in my body, it basically just lights up muscles that normally don't get lit up by normal like Theragun work or dynamic warm-up. To upper body. What up, Russell? So my warm-up takes about 45 minutes in total, especially on like a high intent day like today. Then I'll do a little bit of plyos, not really too much. What up, Boomer? And then we'll be on the mound. So in about 40 minutes from now, I'll be on the mound. What up, Bray? What up, Timothy? Check out my page if you want to see like my detailed workouts. If you want to see my throwing progression, if you want to see where I'm at. What up, Joseph? And if you're interested in remote training, you can go to roadto95.com and fill out the contact form on there. There's a detailed questionnaire on the services page if you're interested in that as well. What up, Colan? What up, Terry? What up, Michael? What up, Nancy? Welcome into the live. What up, Linda? What up, Manny? What up, Terry? So after I'm done with soft tissue, I'll move into RPR and then some dynamic movement and then like dynamic warm-up. So dynamic movement meaning like mobility, getting to end ranges, but not static stretching. What up, Dart? What up, Lori? What up, JL? What up, PJ? What up, Tim? What up, Nick? So just finishing up here. So I do use the Theragun for about 10 minutes, so it's like 15 seconds per muscle group. And right when I'm done using this, I feel extremely loose right away. Definitely works for me. It doesn't, some people don't like it, some people do. It's really personal preference. I like it. I like it way better than a foam roller. I feel like foam roller for me doesn't really do much. But this I'm able, like, you know, I feel a little tender here in my forearm. I'm able to target it. Just gonna do my left arm real quick a little bit and then hop into RPR. What up, Wild? Any questions you have about my training, warm up, throwing, leave it down below. Be happy to have a conversation. And you can check out my page if you want to know more about what I do for training. And if you have any questions on any of my videos, let me know. Now's a great time. All right, so now I do RPR. Basically, it's controlled breathing, and I pinpoint specific pressure points in my body. And it releases different parts of your body and kind of just wakes up your CNS a little bit. And what I'm doing with the breathing is more of a diaphragmatic breathing. So I'm focusing on expanding my stomach and contracting my core. I'm not breathing through my chest. And each position that I'm targeting actually targets a different part of the body. So, for example, behind the neck actually targets the quads. There's these systems which, if you ever have done acupuncture, you might have seen the chart on the wall, where there's these systems that run through your body. There's the liver system, the gallbladder system, and if you target certain points, it actually releases tension throughout your body, but it also reminds your body how it should properly move and use its muscles. So behind the knees. What up, yo? Lower back. So you go right here on the hip bone. You can feel the bones right here. Dig in, deep breath. In your side. Collarbone. Shoulders. On your jawline, right in the back here. Cheekbone. Back of ears, like underneath the earlobe, you'll feel like a little divot here. And then, of course, the back of the neck, like I said before. And then we'll get into some movement now, movement prep. What up, Ja? What up, Marissa? So now I'm just sitting into a deep squat, and if I hadn't done the Theragun and the RPR just now, it'd feel tight, my knees would have popped, my groin would be tight, but I already feel so loose, and I'm able to just get right into this position. What up, Jonathan? What up, Jackson? What up, Wayne? What up, Dale? What up, Russ? So now that I've done the prep with the Theragun and the RPR, everything's already pretty loose. And now it's just about moving every joint. So I like to start with the hips. Just go from the ground up, hips, ankles, knees, then spine, then shoulders. The hips and the spine drive all your movement. They're the centerpiece for all your limbs. So it's important to be able to have those working as efficiently as possible. What up, Brian? What up, William? If you have any questions about my my warm-up here or my training in general, feel free to ask. Any questions? Ankle cars. And you don't need to do a crazy amount of reps for this kind of warm-up. When you're doing controlled articulated rotations like this, just enough so that you're moving each joint through all ranges of motion before you throw. This isn't static stretching either. Static stretching I would never do before throwing. I always do static stretching at the end of my my workouts. You want to have all dynamic in the beginning of your workouts, so movement based, not static based. Then my favorite hip exercise, 90-90s. What up, Dave? Just getting to end range, coming back. You don't need to do a crazy stretch here, just getting to end range, coming back nice and slow and controlled. What up, Jeremy? Internal rotation, external rotation. And then I do this, call it thread the needle, lift up your leg, and then slow and controlled. bring it to the front, and then push it to the back. And I just do like 2 or 3. And then the left leg now. Great day to be outside, great day to be throwing. Last week on Tuesday was my first time throwing like a legit command bullpen with all my pitches. Today, the focus is just going to be sinker, splitter. I'm kind of going to get rid of the cutter, I think. I might come back to it, but I'm going to, in my next cycle, I'm going to figure out what that third pitch that goes to the left should be, because the splitter and sinker run a crazy amount. So I need something that cuts, which is the only reason why I had the cutter. But maybe it's a sweeper, maybe it's a slider. Goal is to throw 95. Yes, it is, Jonathan. Goal is to throw 95. PR is 92. You can see that on my page. I hit 92 after my first 5-week cycle of this journey, which was incredible. Next week is my second velo day, so hopefully we can beat that next week, hit a 93. What up, Lee? What up, Deb? How's your day going, Jonathan? So now that we're done with the hip mobility, moving to spine and neck, I just like to move every part of my body to start, and then so it goes soft tissue, RPR, move all my joints, and then a dynamic get your heart rate up, warm up. What up, Philip? If you have any questions, leave them down below. Be happy to answer any questions you might have about my training, about your training, opinions that you might have, opinions that I have. Leave any questions you have or comments down below. I'm always willing to learn, so if you have anything that you suggest to me, pretty good, never knew so much where it goes into throwing 95. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of debate on what's the hardest sport, obviously. Obviously, it's baseball, but I would also debate that pitching is one of the most analytical and most difficult things in sports to actually get like to an elite level. It is the fastest movement that you can produce, the throwing of the arm, the external rotation. You can't really produce that kind of speed or force in any other movement in sports. And it's just so there's so much to pitching, especially with velocity, and especially nowadays with all the data that we have. What up, Argil? So I love to move my spine. So this routine that I'm doing, minus the Theragun, I always do the hip, spine, and shoulder routine every single day. I've probably done this for the last like 2 years, even when I took some time off from baseball. It's just so good for your body to get moving, loosens up everything, and keeps you to be able to like actually move and reach deep position, and keeps you to be able to like actually move and reach deep positions. And then my upper half is following as a result of that. And then my upper half is following as a result of that. What up, What up, Big Don? What up, B Davis? Next favorite is spinal waves. So you're focusing on moving each part of your spine independently. So you go forward and then back. And now the final part of my movement prep, shoulders. Just moving each part of my body, all my joints, in every way possible, getting to all my end ranges. Not holding anything statically, but everything's dynamic. And then we'll go into a dynamic warm-up to get my heart rate up. Then some shoulder activation with bands and plyos, and then right to the mound from there. Today is a high intent, 95% of my max day. If you were here earlier, you heard me mention that. When I say high intent, medium intent, low intent, I kind of like to do percent of what my max velo is. So if my max velo is 92, high intent day is like 95%. So 87 is my top line velo for today. I don't really want to go past that. This is my favorite shoulder exercise right here, just arm circles, but as fast as possible. If you let your arm kind of be dead and just go as fast as possible, you'll feel the blood kind of rush because of the, not centrifugal, but centripetal force. And your hand will get a little tingly because the blood flushes all the way to the here, and then it, and your hand will get a little tingly because the blood flushes all the way to the here, and then it kind of warm up. So the thing I like to do for my dynamic every day is line hops. The impact into the ground, that pushes shock. Going through a nice dynamic warm up now. I already did the line hops and some hip movement. Now I just like to kind of do a few sprints, starting at stationary. Sprints are absolutely, if I had to choose one exercise to do for the rest of my life, to throw harder, it would be sprints. It's not the only thing you need, obviously, but it is probably the best, single best exercise for developing power and speed, of course. Especially when you're 228 pounds, moving this amount of weight so quick is difficult. And it's just 10-yard, like, 4 or 5 step burst. It's not this huge, you're not stealing second. Just a nice, like, 30-foot sprint. So I'll do 2 from stationary. What up, Fat Rat? What up, Nick? Take a quick breather. And then I'm gonna do walk into and then jog into. What up, Grit? We'll be on the mound soon. Just finishing up dynamic warm-up. Then I'm gonna do some core activation with the water bag, a little bit of plyos and shoulder activation, and then we'll be on the mound. All right, now I just do 2 walk into to sprint. So just like a 5-yard walk. I'm really fast. Something I see a lot of people do when they do sprints is they don't give it 110%. You have to give it literally 1,000%. Otherwise, you're not getting anything out of it. Walk into. And I also like to brace my core right before I go and like exhale to help me keep that core braced the whole time. Take a quick breather and then we'll do jog into. Sprints before throwing are good too because they fire up your CNS better than any other exercise. How far are you so far? Do you throw 90? My PR is 92. You can see that on my page. I actually hit 92 a couple weeks ago after my first velo cycle. Goal is 95, of course. Today is a high intent pen. So high intent in my definition is like 95% of your max. And then of course a max intent day is you're maxing out. So 95% of my max of 92 is about 87. So today's gonna be, you know, top line is 87. So we're gonna be shooting for like sitting 85, 87 today. All right, so now I jog into sprint. And it's just 5 quick steps. Getting the heart rate up, firing up the CNS, and then we're gonna move into some shoulder activation. I think I'm gonna do the water bag on the mound before I go, instead of right now. So one more sprint and we're good to go. All right. For shoulder activation today, I'm gonna do the 2-pound plyo. Let me find that. Let's use this one. We're gonna do 2-pound plyo, mini red band. And I want some sort of forearm activation. So I'll just use the long red band for that. I'm just gonna head over to a nice brick wall. What do I do for arm care? I do have some full videos of my arm care that I do. I do a lot of different variations. I think arm care is kind of like a misused term. Really what I consider to be arm care is getting blood flow to the arm. So like red light therapy, and then like stim, or like any other blood flow kind of device like that. I think that that shoulder strengthening and endurance training, for like not endurance but muscular endurance training, is key. So like I like to hold isometrics for, you know, as long as I can. For example, I'll hold a barbell in a curl position for as long as I can. And then for like a pre-throw arm care, which is traditional, this is what I'm doing right now. So I'll run through 2-pound plyo ball, taps, and I rotate these exercises every day. I never do the same exercises 2 days in a row. So we just go in T, then I go up to like my release point, then I go I, and then I cycle back down to here. I also forgot here. And then I just like to do like one full windmill rotation. And then to 90. And I like to kind of square my hips up away from the wall. And now what I do is, that was quick taps, now I'm doing like a hard scap retraction, and then explode into the wall in each position for like 4 to 5. Okay, and then just some external rotation. And I like to do a release point as well. And then I also just like to do some like arm circles, forward and back. Try not to hit, I don't know if I want to do that, I'm probably gonna hit up there. That's good. And then I'm just gonna hit some forearm activation with a long red band. Something that I think is overlooked are the forearms. So I'll just do like, hold on, like this. Wrist curls, palm up. Wrist curls, palm down. And then rotations, pronation, supination. So this is supination, and then pronation. I'm just doing like 5 to 10. You know, this isn't supposed to be a workout, just getting activated. And then deviations. And that's really it for shoulder activation. You know, my CNS is fired up. I already did shoulder movement before. You know, that's really just to get some load on the shoulder, some load on the forearms, get those prepped. And, you know, on a max intent day, I might do a little bit more. But since it's a high intent day, not max, I feel really good about that and where I'm at right now. So now I'm just gonna set up the mound, and we're gonna hop onto the mound, do some water bag, which is also good for shoulder and core activation, and then get into the actual pen itself. Recoil is insane. I know what you're saying. Thank you very much. What do you say is the most important lifts to throw harder? I think what's most important is specificity to the individual athlete. So there's no one lift that every athlete should be doing. Each athlete needs their own tailored program. So, you know, you'll see a lot of fitness influencers out there, baseball influencers who say, do deadlifts. You need to be doing deadlifts, or you need to be doing power lifts, or you need to be doing isometrics. And while all those are great, the real key is figuring out where you're weak and developing that, and optimizing every part of your program to develop where you're weak and maintain what you're good at. So I'm just gonna bring the water bag. Actually, I'm gonna throw my cleats on too right now. If you wanna know where I get my barefoot shoes from, shoot me a DM. I'll send you a link. I love my barefoot shoes. Definitely really good for foot health. Diary of the CEO actually just did a good video on them with a guest. I've been wearing barefoot shoes for probably like the last like 3-4 months, and I've definitely seen a huge improvement in the structure of my feet. What up, Rick? All right, so we're heading to the mound. Got the water bag, got the balls, got the strike zone. Hopefully I can carry all this and the phone. Let me see what I can do here. There we go. All right. Look at that bird. It's got something in its mouth. Again, goal today is, I'm gonna have to head back and get the radar gun. No problem. Goal for today is just sit 85, 87 and throw some really nasty splitters. That's it. Nothing crazy. I want to be able to throw the splitter more consistently for a strike. Yeah, I'm gonna need weights anyway, so I'm gonna head back, grab the radar gun, grab the weights, grab the iPad, and I'll be set up to go. In the meantime though, how's everyone's day going? Where are you from? I'd love to know where you're watching from. How are we doing, Everest? We'll be on the mound in about 5 minutes. Just getting everything set up now, which in and of itself is a nice workout, especially in this weather, which is awesome, by the way. Not complaining at all. All right, let me just grab all this stuff here. Where's the radar gun? Here it is. Radar gun. Get the portable charger for the radar gun. And let's head over. Also grab a bottle of water. All right, here we go. So like I said, gonna hit the water bag. Water bag is an incredible tool. I think it's got, gained a lot of traction, especially with some bigger names using it now, as it should, because it is a great tool, but only if you use it the correct way. It's very specific. I like to use it mainly for core activation, not really for like drill and mechanic work. Let me set up the camera right. How's it going, Bobby? How's it going, Oreo? How's it going, Jim? What up, Truman? What up? Welcome to the live, everyone. We're hopping on the mound in just a few minutes, just setting everything up. Today's a high intent mound day, so stay tuned. Got my waters. Let me set up the radar gun. Did forget the iPad, but I'll run back over and grab it. No problem. This tripod has seen better days, but still works fine. Hopefully it still works fine, I should say, because I actually don't know if it works fine. It's like completely dismantled. Like this, and then grab this. All right, radar gun's live. Let me just go grab the iPad real quick. Let me know if you guys have any questions on my training. I know some of you might be returning viewers. Some of you might have seen me before. Some of you might not have. If you haven't, go check out my channel, my TikTok page. Check out my training. If you have any questions, let me know. What up, Chris? What up, Jim? What up, Rodolfo? How's everyone doing today? What up, Maddie? What up, Gerardo? We're just grabbing my iPad, setting up the radar gun, and then we'll be throwing on the mound. Oh no, I actually don't have the iPad, which is all right. I just won't be able to see my velos, I guess. It's no big deal, really. Yeah, all right, no big deal. Forgot the iPad, but I just won't be able to see the velos. You guys will see it, so let me know how hard I'm throwing. Don't want to go over 87 today, so I'll just have my phone. I guess, yeah, I guess I can see it. It'll be delayed, though. How's everyone doing? We're heading onto the mound right now. Gonna do a little bit of core activation with the water bag and then throwing a baseball. Just sinkers and splitters today. And then trying to throw, you know, 85 to 80, 87. That's really all we need to do. Well, let me get this in the right position here. I think that should be good. And then move this way back. It's about here. And then turn it on so it's dialed up, ready to go. Wait. There we go. All right, now it's reading. Let's see, can you see that good? Let me know if you can see the radar gun or not. But I'm gonna do some core activation with the water bag, and then we'll get going. So with the water bag free throw, I kind of just like to get active in every position. All right, time for the mound. Let me just see if you can see good. You can see it. Thank you, Bentley. What up, Paul? What up, Carlos? Oh, Minnesota, watch all. That's cool. How's the weather there? Oh, Minnesota, watch all. That's cool. Rocking the catcher's mitt today. I like to put myself in uncomfortable positions. All right, let's get going. So obviously starting off light, gonna do a little flat ground first. Move this up. Forgot to put the weights on it. I'll do that after the flat ground. Just doing like 10 to 15 here. Some splitters. This is the splitter grip, by the way. Middle finger on the seam, and then on that opposite seam, I'm just pushing my pointer finger down as far as I can go. First ones are usually a little wild, like that, because I squeeze it. But once my fingers get like adjusted, after the first couple throws, then it kind of dials in a little bit. There we go, that one was good. All right, one more fastball, then I'm just gonna pick up a couple of those balls, put the weights on it. All right. How hard was I throwing there, guys? I don't have the iPad to see, so let me know how hard I was throwing. 45, all right. 73, all right. $80 miles an hour in the last one. Perfect, right where I want to be. Let's get the weights going on here so this isn't moving around everywhere. I need to get like stakes to put in the ground. I think that would work good. I'll just put those there, and then the bag right here. All right, that should be decent. Just grab a couple of these balls too. And we're going on the mound. Again, looking to get 85, 87. Not a max intent day, but a high intent day. So 95% of my max. I just like to emphasize that because a lot of people, when they say 95, they're really throwing 100%. 95% to me is like 95% of your actual max velo. All right, let me just grab a drink real quick. So all sinkers, all splitters. Comment how hard those are, just because I need to know. Sinker. I always miss a little up and in. It's actually a good pitch to a righty, but a lefty's probably not swinging at that. I'm gonna try to go low and away here. See if I can make that adjustment. Nope, still missing in. How hard are we throwing, guys? 84, all right, not bad. Let's see if we can get an 86 right here. Might have been an 86, but probably not good. Yeah, I can't see the radar gun even on here. All right, sinkers. There we go, low and away. That's a dot. Love that pitch, especially to a lefty. I even like the sinker playing up in the zone. Gets a lot of swing and misses and like top on the ball. Boom, that's a dot. Love that. How hard are we throwing, guys? Give me some numbers. 80? Really? All right. 84. Okay, 84 is good. I'm good with 84. Just make sure this is lined up with my arm slot. Probably more like here. I'm gonna go a couple more sinkers, and then we'll go into splitter. Let's throw a splitter here. Splitter. That might have been nasty. Hard to tell. I feel like I did kind of come around it, but that could have been a good out pitch. Good swing and miss. Might have been a little bit too low. Hard to tell without a catcher though. Let me know how dirty that was, if it was at all. That off of a sinker is really good. I know that for a fact. How hard are these splitters, guys? 84, 85, nice, all right. That's right where I want to be, 84, 85. Would like to touch a 7 today. Definitely don't want to go over 7 though. Splitter. See, that one's nasty. That one cut a little bit, but to a lefty, that's like a slider. Some people, like, they would be like, are you throwing sliders? I'm like, no, that's the splitter. How hard are those splitters, guys? If I can get the splitter to 80. Last sinker was 87. All right, thank you. That's good, that's good. Let me know how hard these splitters are. 80-mile-an-hour splitters would be nasty, because that means I can probably throw it like 83 at max intent. Go one more splitter and go back to the sinker. Ah, squeezed it. No one's swinging at that, that's for sure. Go back to the sinker though. I'm gonna get one of those batters for a good visual. What pitches do you guys throw? Let me know in the comments. Tell me what pitches you guys throw. Right now I'm only going sinker splitter. In the next phase of my training, I'll probably either try to bring back the cutter or add a sweeper of some sort. But I'm a really low spin guy, so I gotta find the right pitch for me that's gonna go the opposite way of my sinker splitter. Let's go sinker. If you got any recommendations, let me know. I'm missing like inches up. Gotta focus my sights down a little bit. That's it. Now a little in. So focus my sights a little bit to the left now. Sinker. And then I come around that one. Pitching's hard, guys, let me tell you. Sinker. That hit someone. It's okay though. I'm not rattled. Sinker. Let me see the comments here. Splitter was 79. All right, I like that. Comment your pitches. What's your pitch? What's your pitch arsenal? Like I said, I'm going just sinker splitter here. I'm gonna go one more sinker, get a quick sip of water, and then throw more splitters. Splitter feels really good today. Sinker, I'm leading up. There we go. That's what I like for the sinker. All right, let me take a little break. Why pitch in a catcher's mitt? For fun, to be honest. More like just to be fun. And it kind of gives me a weird feeling. And I like to go into like uncomfortable scenarios and just give my body like a different thing to think of and a different distraction, so that when I'm in the game and there's other distractions, I can fend them off easier, I guess. So I always try to come up with creative things to distract me. And today is the catcher's mitt. Do you care about dryness ball field mix? Are you referring to like the dirt? Um, because this mound stinks and this mound is super dry, and I would like it to be watered a little bit, but you know, I'm just working with what I got here. If that's what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would prefer this mound to be a little bit softer. It's just like a rock, especially for your plant leg, because when you plant and it's a little bit soft, it really digs the cleats into the ground and allows you to get better lead light block. So yeah, it definitely does matter, but at the same time, you just got to work with what you got. I'd rather throw my pens on like a bad mound like this, and when I do actually get onto like a good, nice mound, I feel good. So again, just getting uncomfortable. All right, so let's do sinker, and then we'll do some splitters. That's a great spot for the sinker, especially to any batter. I don't think any batter would hit that, except like Aaron Judge. Yeah, definitely Aaron Judge would hit that. But other than that, probably no one else. Splitters now. See, I don't mind that. It nicked the zone barely. My splitter in the zone plays really well. So if I can throw it for a strike, I'm pretty solid. Splitter here. See, like that's cutting. I like it because it's just like people look at it and it looks like a slider almost. But I would rather it run in. Maybe I should just learn how to throw my splitter like a cutter and just learn to control that movement. And then I don't even need to get a splitter or a cutter or a slider. I can just throw like a cut splitter. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, that's the one right there. Let me know if that one was nasty. It's hard to tell when you're throwing, but I think if I review the footage, that one was a dot down. Let's go with another splitter. Splitter definitely feels a lot better than my first pen. My first pen is posted on my page if you want to check that out. Threw some nasty ones, but not the best. Even that one's nice. I don't mind that. I got 4 more really bad looking baseballs. Then I'm gonna pick up a couple. Probably just do like maybe like 10 more after these 4, and then I'm done. Let's go sinker. Ding. Try to go. I gotta set my sights low and away. I keep looking down the middle. Just set it lower and away. Even that was a lot better. Because it starts in the zone and then ends just off the plate. So that could be a swing and miss. That one not as good. All right, last sinker here. Then I'm gonna go pick up like 10 more and then just do like 5 and 5 maybe. Good end. That ball went over the fence and probably could have killed someone if there were people there. Luckily there was not. I'll be right back with some balls. Comment what my velo was there. Felt pretty good. Probably, I would guess like 85, maybe 86. If I get over 88, please let me know, because I do not want to throw over 87 today. Don't want to put that much stress on my arm. Planning to long toss on Friday. And then next week is velo day. So next week we're going for 92. Or sorry, 93. I want to beat 92. But also, you know, a PR would be great, but also if I could, instead of sitting 87 to 89, say 89 to 90, I would be even more happy with that. So I'm just gonna do like 10 more throws or so, and then I'll be done, and then we'll do some arm care. Fix this. It actually didn't really move at all, which is nice. Probably because I didn't hit it a lot. Throw fastballs. Sergio and Co. Fire Deli. I've heard of it. Sergio and Co. Fire Deli. Denville, yep. Denville, New Jersey. Denville, yep. Denville, New Jersey. Where can I get a radar set up like this? Well, it's just a pocket radar, and then this is just, you know, a generic, what's it called, portable charger, and then it plugs in. I have an adapter because this portable charger is only for like the new USB-C, and then tripod, you know, simple setup. And if you look up, you can actually look up pocket radar mount, and then you can get the, it has two sides to it, so you can set up the pocket radar and the portable charger. It's separate from the tripod. Split finger fastball. All right, so we got like 10 more throws here. We're gonna go like 5 or so sinkers, 5 or so splitters, and then call it. Let me know how hard these are. I did hit 87, so no need to dial it up anymore. Just don't want to throw over 88. Way to spike that one into the ground. Sinker. Nice. All right, go a couple splitters now. Splitter's been really good today. That one was not good. Squeezed it. That's the problem with the splitter. It's just such a hard pitch to command, but when I do have to command right for it, it's so nasty. That one wasn't bad. Left it up, obviously, but I had good movement, it looked like. Squeezing it. And I said the splitter was looking good, and now it's looking bad. I'm gonna go back to a couple sinkers. By the way, someone said throw fastballs. I don't throw like a four seam. I only throw sinkers. The four seam just not good. So I have a really low spin rate. So the sinker will get as low as like 1500 spin, which is why it dives down a lot. And that's also why the splitter is a really good pitch for me, because the splitter spin actually gets below 500. So it, you know, it can knuckle a little bit. So let's go sinker. I want to throw a strike at least. Get back to the splitter. Splitter. That splitter wasn't bad. I kind of babied it though. Arm's getting a little tired. I'm not really a starting pitcher. Splitter. Let's try to throw it harder. Don't baby it. There we go. That's the one right there. That's the one that starts kind of up. It looks like a meatball, and it just dives right out, and it actually nicked the zone. I don't know, you probably couldn't hear it, but it did get a little nick. I'm gonna finish with 3 fastballs, and we're all done. I'm just flying open right now because my body's a little tired, so I need to stay closed for longer and also drive my knee back a little bit so I have something to rotate off of. I'm gonna do 2 more. Sinker. And one more sinker. All right, good pitch to end on. We'll end it there. Give it a circle changeup once. Catcher's mitt, yeah. Rocking the catcher's mitt to feel uncomfortable just gives me like a distraction, I feel like, which is, you know, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations will in the long run improve when you are comfortable. Or in a game situation, when you are a bit uncomfortable, you've been there and you're used to it. So I think adding things that make you uncomfortable in your pens will help you in game. And that's just like a unique thing that I'll do. Put a catcher's mitt on, start in a different stance, you know, things to make me a little uncomfortable. Sometimes I'll move the strike zone so it's like that. So I'm eliminating the path, and now I'm working on trying to, the only strike that I can throw is outside now. Like if I want to work on outside, or if I want to work on throwing inside, I will eliminate that path on the plate. And that's just, you know, some things that I'll do in the pen to add in some discomfort, add in some variety, which I think is important. I got balls everywhere. I got some balls over the fence. How can I get more rotation as a pitcher? Rotation as in like, that's a really general phrase. Do you mean like spinning your pitch? Do you mean like rotation in your hips? Yeah, if you could just be a little more specific, maybe I can answer that for you. What up, Reed? How's everyone doing? Curious George has entered. How's it going? What up, Case? What up, Jacob? So we're done throwing. What up, yo? How are you able to gain more velocity? Well, velocity is very tricky and it's very individualized. That's the thing, is that what I'm doing, you probably shouldn't be doing. So I take a very individualistic approach to velocity, and I think that everyone needs to have their own tailored training protocol, and there's no one-size-fits-all program. So there's no one exercise, there's no one drill. You know, when you see Trevor Bauer post, these are the 3 drills that I would do. You know, they might not apply to you. They might be helpful, but they probably won't apply to you directly. And when you see, you know, someone post an exercise, and then you're like, oh, I need to do that. You know, I post a lot about overcoming isometrics. I think they're a great tool, especially for my specific needs. You know, I was coming from a place where I took a year off throwing, and I needed to build joint stiffness. So that was really helpful, so that I didn't overexert force and injure myself early on in my training. So right now I'm just going to hit the Theragun just on a, you know, at the lightest setting on my arm for about I don't know, minute per muscle group: bicep, tricep, shoulder, forearm. And then I have a couple of things that I like to do after I throw, which I rotate. I don't always do everything. How often do you go to Gardner? I actually just started coming here because, you know, I don't live in Denville. I live about 20 minutes from here. I work out in Rockaway in the Fitness Factory. But Gardner's, you know, it's a nice complex here. I don't love the mound, but it's a nice complex. I've been coming out here whenever it was nice out. So today is a nice day, and now that it's summertime, I'm going to be coming here, you know, probably twice a week. I'll be back here on Friday probably. So now I'm just cleaning up my stuff, and then I'll get into my full arm carry routine. Don't want to just leave a mess out here. Don't want to be rude, you know. Wouldn't listen to anything Trevor Bauer says. Not necessarily true. Stay there for 3 hours and I'll pull up. I will not be here for 3 hours. I'm sorry, Ethan. But I will be at the Fitness Factory if you want to meet me there. What up, Place? What up, Michael? Just, thanks for following. Appreciate it. So I'm just cleaning up right now, guys. You know, I don't want to just leave a mess on the field while I do my arm care. So I'm just going to clean up quick and then I'll get into my arm care. How old am I? I'm 25 years old. I'm a washed up pitcher. So my goal is to throw 95. You know, it's been a lifelong goal for me to get to 95. So I'm just really focused on it. You know, it's been a lifelong goal for me to get to 95. So I'm just really focusing and getting really serious about my training for most of my career. If you actually go to road95.com, if you're interested in my story, where I came from, where I played, go to road95.com. You'll see my story there. And I do also want to open my own facility, you know, relatively soon, within the next few years, and start my my coaching journey as a pitching coach. What up, Gage? How old is everyone else here? College, high school, middle school? Where are you guys in your journeys? How hard are you throwing? Where do you play? Love to get to know some of you guys. One thing about recording everything and doing velo is cleaning up is a pain, but it's worth it. All right. What up, Jim? How's everyone doing today? Absolutely amazing day on the field. Not a cloud in the sky. Yesterday and today was really nice. Can't complain at all. Again, just cleaning up for a minute, and then I'm gonna get into my my full arm care routine that I will do after high intensity days like today. Today was like more of like a medium volume, but high effort. All right, yeah. So I'm just gonna go back out to the outfield and hit my full arm care routine. If you have any questions about my training at all, first of all, visit my TikTok page. I post all my workouts that I do. Now, I'm not saying that you should be doing those workouts, but it'll just give you a sense of what I'm doing to optimize velocity development. What up, the Pearl? All right. So first things first, for recovery, I'll do this after every high intensity day, is blood flow. So this is called rocket wrap, and I'll wrap this around the part of my arm that gets the most sore and tender, which is my forearm and bicep. For you, it might be your shoulder. Now, I've been wrapping my arm for years, so I'm a pro wrapper now. But I'll do this after every high intensity day. There's some science behind it that it pushes out the old blood and promotes some new blood flow into the area that you wrap. and I'm a big believer in blood flow and recovery. Not a believer in pain relief. I'm a believer in blood flow and recovery. So I will never ice. I will never elevate and rest. I will always promote blood flow to my joints, arm, shoulder, elbow. And I'll just walk around with this, do some movements. I like to do some nerve flossing. So in, out, doing this while the nerve's compressed will make it a little bit more effective, I feel. And then just, just moving around my arm while it's wrapped. What up, Ajax? And you'll see a difference in my hand. Let me set up my tripod again real quick. My hand does turn like a nice pale purple color because there is no circulation right now, but it's pushing out the old blood and then it's promoting new blood flow into my arm. There we go. All right, so done with this. And as you can see, I do like the cup. I actually haven't cupped in a really long time. Cupped for the first time 2 days ago. And I do like cupping because, again, it's promoting blood flow to the area. It's basically you're purposely bruising yourself so that you're getting an increase in blood flow into that area. And you can see when the circle gets darker, that means that was a tighter spot that you were targeting. So there it is. Next thing I love to do is the shoulder sphere. This does little micro movements in your rotator cuff. Again, you don't really need to get all this expensive equipment. I mean, the rocket wrap, I recommend you get the actual thing. It's probably only like $5 to $10. It's not really, that's pretty inexpensive, but this is like $200. But you'll see my arm is just going through little micro movements and it's just activating the rotator cuff. And after throwing, I just like to do a little movement routine. Again, I'm just trying to promote blood flow in all my joints, my shoulder, elbow, forearm. And then I'm also going to be doing a lift after this. After high intent days, I like to do an upper body lift. Again, getting the blood flowing. So today is going to be an upper body lift scheduled where I focus on isometrics mainly and some explosive movements. Let me see. If you have any questions, leave them down below. What up, Balin? What up, Or373? How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're getting outside at some point. It's a great day to be outside. All right. I've been doing the shoulder sphere for years now. You can just take a 2-pound ball and do basically the same thing. You're not going to get the exact same result, but if you just take like a 1 or 2 pound ball, do the same thing, just kind of shake it, and you can hear, I don't know if you can hear, but the beads like move. You get like a similar effect, but not exact. So that's just like a more cost-effective approach. And that's about all I will do. Later today, I'm going to be doing red light therapy, and I might stim my arm, the electric E-stim. But other than that, that's all I'm going to do right now. And then I'm obviously going to go lift, so that will also promote blood flow. And now I'm just going to finish cleaning up and head to the gym. Are you a coach or just doing this for fun? Both. I mean, it's a lifelong goal of mine to throw 95, and I do remote training and some in-person training, mainly remote though. You can visit my website, roadto95.com, if you want more information on that. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments here or shoot me a DM on TikTok or Instagram. Instagram is roadto95. What up, Hudson? But yeah, I do pitching coaching as well. But the main thing with this page is, having fun, sharing my story, getting to meet new people, and ultimately throwing 95 eventually. Let me know if you have any other questions. Leave them down below. Anything at all related to baseball, my journey, pitching, nutrition, sleep. I love to talk about all that stuff. I'd love to hear your opinions on what do you guys eat? How do you sleep? Do you focus on that kind of stuff? What's your routines like? What's your throwing routine? Where did I play at? I played at a Division II school that doesn't exist anymore called University of the Sciences in Philly. And then I played at Ramapo College. But when I say played, I didn't really play because I was pretty much injured my entire career. But being injured really taught me a lot about my body. And now that I'm healthy, I might be a little bit too old to get recruited and make a pro roster, because they look for young talent nowadays. But I'm still striving to improve, throw 95, and I've learned a lot through all those hardships, and I want to spread that knowledge and teach others so that they can avoid the mistakes that I made. But yeah, I played D2 baseball. Again, didn't really play because I was hurt the entire time. I had Tommy John my freshman year. Then there was COVID my sophomore year. Then I tore, it's called the patellar retinaculum in my knee, which basically holds my kneecap in place. And then after that, I had really bad bicep tendonitis, which just kind of lingered for a little over a year and really restricted me from being able to throw to my potential, because anytime I threw, it would hurt, and I didn't know why. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. If you want to reach out, if you want to have a conversation with me privately, feel free to DM me here or Instagram. I also have some contact forms on my website, roadto95.com, if you're interested in any sort of coaching for yourself. What up, Zeke? But yeah, I've been through it. I've been through it all in terms of adversity. So that's why I feel like I can help others attain their goals, because I have a lot of knowledge on what not to do, I guess. And now that I do know what to do, I'm confident that I can healthily get to 95. Maybe not play professional baseball, but have fun doing it, and hopefully help others attain their goals. T-spine and mobility work every day, absolutely, depending on your specific needs. If you're a tight mover or an average mover, yes, absolutely. If you're someone who's very lax and hypermobile, then no. But I do a dedicated T-spine and hip movement and shoulder movement routine every single day before I throw, lift, whatever I'm doing that day. And but that's because I'm like a medium mover. At base, I'm not like super tight, but I'm not like super lax. And I want to maintain and gain a little bit of laxity. So It really depends on what kind of a mover you are, and this also the exercise selection is determined by what specifically do you need. So it's always critical to consider, specificity. I'm big on like, there's no one drill, there's no one exercise, there's no one routine that's optimal. Everyone needs their own personalized program based on where they're at. There might be some overlap. There might be some things that I would recommend to many people, but I don't think there's any one thing that every person should be doing. I think every person should be doing some form of mobility, but like the specific, should they be doing T-spine every day? Probably not. For me, yes. I do weight stretches 3 times a week, but no weight every day. So you mean you load end ranges, so you might grab a barbell, and load this kind of a stretch, if that's what you mean. Because I do love those. I love loading end ranges of motion. I think that's great. 3 times a week, again, it depends on where you're at. It's hard for me to say, all right, you shouldn't be doing it 3 times a week. All right, maybe you should be doing it 4. I don't really know. It's hard to get those specifics for people without actually knowing the player and where they're at, their goals, etc. But I do love loading end ranges of motion. I think that is an excellent thing that most people should be doing, not all. Yes, yeah. So I love that. I like hopping on a box, grabbing a bar, and just knees straight, going down as far as I can go, and then following that up with just a normal hamstring stretch. But loading the end ranges of motion is very, very good. So good for you. Good on you for doing that. Just making sure I have everything. And then I'm gonna head to the gym. Any more questions, guys? I'm gonna be ending the live in just a minute here. Leave them down below. I did it 4 times, but now I can move more, so I went down to 3. That's awesome. Love that. So yeah, you wanna have a program that's dynamically changing based on your progress. So you're doing a great job. I'm just gonna sit here for like 5 minutes. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And I'm just gonna head to the gym. One of my favorite topics is nutrition. Let me know what you guys like to eat. Let me know what you guys think of nutrition. What kind of diet are you following? I think it's one of the biggest deciding factors in velocity development. So let me know what you guys think about nutrition. For me, you got to optimize everything. So my goal right now is to optimize my sleep, my nutrition, obviously my throwing, my lifting, and then my general lifestyle, mental mindset. So what am I doing to do that? I don't drink, I don't do drugs, the basic stuff. I don't smoke, no cigarettes, no nicotine, none of that. And I eat, a whole food diet. I cook, 90% of my meals. I go out once in a while, whenever I go out, it's always fun for me to pick out whatever I deem to be the healthiest thing on the menu, and I'll always order that. And yeah, and then of course I'm optimizing my sleep. I have a set schedule. I'm going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time within an hour. Life happens. Maybe I go to sleep an hour later than normal, but within an hour, I'm always going to bed at around the same time, around 10:30, and waking up at like 7-ish, 7:30. And then I'm always optimizing and building the optimal throwing progression for myself based on my mechanics, what I need. I was throwing 83, 84 going into my junior year, but tore my labrum, oh no, and didn't throw my junior year, I guess you're saying. I'm only at like 78 now, but have a throwing, weightlifting, med ball, plyo ball, and stretching routine now to get it back. Wow, very sorry to hear that, Rylan. I've been there. I've had Tommy John surgery, but shoulder surgery is definitely a whole different beast, because the recovery for that is still shaky. How far out are you from having your shoulder surgery, your labrum surgery? Are you still recovering, you think, or are you like in the stages where like, all right, now it's time to build up and we're ready to go? Do you still have shoulder problems, shoulder issues, shoulder pain, any of that? Tell me a little bit more about your injury and where you're at right now. So just to give like everyone a little piece of what I think as it pertains to injuries in general, I think the most overlooked thing when it comes to injuries is not how you're throwing and the biomechanics on the mound and the lifting. I think it's not like 85% of it is your diet and sleep patterns and your lifestyle choices. When I was getting hurt, I had an awful diet. I was not sleeping good at all, and I was drinking and smoking. So once I cut all that out of my life, years later now, I don't get hurt. If I dropped the barbell on my foot the other day, can't avoid getting hurt from that. But I don't tear things in my body anymore. I would randomly pull my groin and my knee would randomly collapse. And once I cut out all that stuff and started really focusing and honing in on my lifestyle and the things outside of baseball and outside the throwing, everything kind of started clicking in my body. So I think what is really overlooked is what you're eating and how you're sleeping and how you're recovering on a daily basis, because I was definitely overtraining and I was definitely not recovering properly, and I was definitely not eating the right foods to maintain a good healthy body. Happened in February. Doesn't really bother me. Okay. That's good. So it happened just in February, and now you're throwing 78, which completely makes sense. So was this a full tear, or was this just like a partial tear and you were told that you should recover from it? Fine. Because, even a partial tear, if this just happened in February, you got to give it some time. Absolutely. It's going to take some time to recover, to heal. And like I said, if you start focusing on what you're eating and how you're sleeping, I think that will do wonders for you. What up, Mock? But yeah, for you right now, it's, I would actually focus on isometrics, external and internal rotation isometrics, focusing on loading the bicep and tricep in an isometric way and trying to build tendon stiffness in all those joints. Loading your forearm, just loading your arm with isometrics and holding positions for an extended period of time until failure. So, for example, I like to hold the band out in external and internal rotation for as long as I can. I do like ER walkouts, they're called, and I'll hold it here with a band or a cable here for as long as I can. I'm sure if you're doing physical therapy, you've done that before, but incorporating, exercises that load your arm in an isometric way, and also doing overcoming isometrics where you're pushing against a wall or something to that nature. Yeah, partial tear, but I dislocated it also. Yeah, so I mean, it happened in February. I think you're on a great path throwing 78 already, and it's June. That was, what was February? 4 months ago. So I think you're doing great for this recovery trajectory, and just take your time. I know it feels like you don't have a lot of time, but trust me, you do. You have plenty of time. You're young. If you're a junior or senior in high school, you have plenty of time. You can get back to 84 easily. by the end of the summer if you have the right program, if you're eating right, sleeping right, all that. Stopped PT like 2 weeks ago. Good. I mean, if the PT thought that you were good enough to stop PT, then you might be in a good position to start ramping up your program. Wasn't bad enough to get surgery, so that's good. Yep, definitely very good. And again, the 85% of injury, I think, is from bad nutrition, bad sleep, bad lifestyle habits, and then 15% like how you're actually throwing your biomechanics. All right, so I'm gonna head to the gym now. It's great. It's been great talking to you guys. Rylan, if you want to talk about it more and you have more questions, shoot me a DM on either here, TikTok, or Instagram, Road to 95. Be happy to talk with you more about this. And if anyone else has any questions or comments, let me know. You can shoot me a DM. But I got to get to the gym, get my workout in. Today was a good pen day for sure. Felt good. I think I topped out at 87, someone said. So that's good. Splitter felt really good up until the end. I kind of like was overthinking it, but for the second time throwing for command in, well over a year, I think I did really good. So I see you sent the message, Rylan. I'll read that in a second. Just bringing my stuff to the car. I got you. I'll text you later, man. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much, Rylan. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, everyone here, for stopping by. Appreciate it so much. Got to make 2 trips. If you have any other questions, you can leave them right now or DM me. I'll answer whatever I can in the last 5 minutes here. What up, Hutch? Just cleaning up my stuff now. Bringing everything to the car. Try my best to get this all there in one trip. I think I got it. Yeah, but if you have any more questions, leave them right now. I'll answer them when I get into the car, and then I'm gonna go to the gym and the live. But thanks again for stopping by. It was a great live, great pen. Felt really good. Breaking down my tripod. that'll conclude this live. Again, send me a DM, visit road295.com. If you have any questions, if you want to set up remote training. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See ya. What's going on? So today is a upper push day. So we're going isometric deadlift into drop catch for speed. What up, P. Heckman? What up, Jamario? All right, let's hop in. So we're doing isometric bench here. Pushing as hard as I can into a stop position. And then immediately going into a fast movement. And I'll just do 4 to 5 here and then like a 5-second hold there. And I like to rest for at least 3 minutes. What up, Gary? What up, Chen? What up, Dayton? What up, Clarence? What up, Loco? So I had a pen day today. Whenever I have like my higher intensity days, I try to program my upper body lifts with that so that I'm getting more blood flow to my arm. What up, Beezy? What up, Greg? So today's upper push, isos to explosive lifts. What up, Hunter? So I'm doing overcoming isometric bench, and overcoming isometric means that you're pushing something into an immovable object, so you're able to exert maximum force without putting like all the bad strain on your body. It builds tendon stiffness, which is good for durability and long-term velocity development, of course, and it teaches your body to move quick. What up, Eddie? What up, JTC? Now, this is my workout that I'm doing. This might not apply to you. I think that there's a lot of specificity that's needed for specific people and specific goals, but this is just the workout that I do that I think is optimal for what I need right now. What up, Luke? So I take like 3 minutes between each set, so I'm fully recovered for my next set. I get the most out of it. And then I go in. What up, Nick? So we're doing an isometric bench. I'm pushing as hard as I possibly can. And then I go into a fast movement. And for this fast movement, I started with just the bar, and I'm just progressively overloading it. I want to keep it so that I'm still doing it for speed, but I like to progressively overload it as well. What up, Bandit? So this is my lift, my Tuesday lift. What up, Gary? Let me know if you have any questions on the lift. And what do your lifts look like? You know, everything I do is optimized for pitching performance. What up, Josh? What up, David? So my goal is to throw 95 miles an hour off the mound. What up, Kiwi? What up, Bob? And if you have any questions on my training or your training at all, leave them down below. What up, Marvin? So I'm doing just isometric training into explosive movements. That's really my focus, and that's what this phase is focused on. Phase 1 was just isometric training without the explosive movements. And then as I move on to my next phase, it's just gonna be the explosive movements, and I'm gonna progressively load the explosive movements until they become more of a strength movement. And then once they become strength, I'm gonna load that until I hit my maximum strength. And then I'm gonna assess where I'm at for all fields of optimal performance on the mound, and then just build a program off of that to work on what I need most. What up, John? What up, Ethan? What up, Daniel? What up, J.E.? What up, Brian? Let me know if you have any questions on my training, what I'm doing, my long-term approach. What up, John? Let me know if you have any questions on your training, what you think you should be doing. I'd love to help. Shooting Star, James, how's it going? What up, Aaron? What up, Army? So I'm gonna head into my next set now. What up, Pete? Right now I'm doing 4 sets of this. You know, I started at 3 and I progress both the weight and the sets and reps that I do over time. What up, Frank? What up, Colton? So this is set 3. And I'm just pushing this as hard as I possibly can. And then transitioning into an explosive movement right after. And the most amount of reps you should do for an explosive movement is probably like 6. Wouldn't go over that much. It's not meant, you're not meant to fatigue your muscles. You're meant to just train them to move fast. What up, Jim? What up? What up, Jojo? What up, Daniel? Let me know if you guys have any questions. What up, Cole? What up, LB? Thank you for the likes. If you're enjoying the stream, would appreciate any comments or likes. What up, Ellie? What up, Michael? What up, JJ? If you have any questions on my training or how to improve your training, let me know. What up, Albert? What up, Steve? What up, David? What up, Donald? What up, Raymond? What up, Jer? What up, John? What up, Billy? What up, William? What up, Stephanie? What up, user? What up, Dan? Let me know if you guys have any questions on my training. Leave them down below in the comments. I take about 3 minutes between each set, just so I'm fully recovered. What up, Steve? What up, Kane? What up, Lorenzo? What up, Anthony? What up, Max? If you're a pitcher and have any questions, let me know. What up, Coach's Corner? What up, Ernie? What up, DD Construction? What up, Fatty Mappa? What up, Fern? What up, Bruce? Comment any questions you got on training. I'd be happy to discuss that with you. Also nutrition, lifestyle, sleep, anything at all. What up, Jeff? What up, Ace? Love to hear your opinions on things. Always looking to learn. What up, Dino? What up, Fred? Amethyst. What up, John? What up, Gary? right, I'm gonna head into my last set of this exercise now. So again, doing overcoming isometrics, what up deja vu, into an explosive movement. And what this builds is maximum force output and tendon strength. And it teaches your body to move fast. So here's the isometric bench. And everything today is push exercises. So all, like more like chest, triceps, just pushing upper push motions. And I go into max speed. Did an extra one there because I didn't like my last rep. What up V? What up AC Master? What up Thomas? So I got one more set here, and then I'm gonna move into isometric dips. What up Buckeye? What up JJ? Leave any questions in the comments. What up Memory Web? What up Jonathan? What up Little Deed? My whole page is focused on throwing a baseball 95 miles an hour off the mound. What up RJ? What up Jero? Sorry, Jared I think. What up John? If you're interested in my journey, visit my TikTok. I post all my workouts, all my throwing, and everything I'm doing to get to 95. And I also have a website, roadto95.com. What up, Pat? All right, so in about a minute, I'll be ready for my last set here. What up, Mateo? What up, Trey? And I like to rest a lot between sets so that I can get fully recovered and get the most out of each set. What up, Leo? So there's the isometric, and then I move into an explosive bench. Jesse Swartout, how's it going? How's Ramapo treating you? Fellow Wayne, how are you doing? Just gonna clean up here a little bit. I'm gonna head into some iso dips. You're all graduated. Good for you though. Congratulations on that. What are you gonna be doing now with your life? What are your plans? What up, Sam? What up, Kevin? How have you been in general? Obviously, I haven't talked to you in like 2 years. BRB. Working right now, applying to state police. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. State police is tough, I've heard. Heard a lot of things. Does Baranok work state police, or what is he doing? So now I just like to hold a dip for as long as I can in bottom position. Really trying to load the pecs and triceps here at end range. And then I'll try my best after about 10 to 20 seconds to actually press up. Hold here for a few. I'm trying to press up, and it turns into an isometric. Done. An incredible workout for tendon stiffness. Obviously, range of motion and training, getting tension and weight through deep ranges of motion is big for pitching. What up, Rich? What up, Nick? What up, Dave? What up, R? What up, Rocky? What up, Brian? What up, Carmelo? How's everyone doing? What up, Matthew? What up, Eli? So my workouts get a little boring because I do take so much time between sets. What up, Big? What up, Muhammad? What up, Kevin? What up, Yeti? Especially for these, because I'm really like maxing out on these. What up, Rich? What up, Dalton? So right now I'm doing a isometric hold in the dip position at bottom position, and then working my way up and trying to press up at the end, which after holding it for 10, 20 seconds comes really hard. What up, Cheese Whiz? What up, Tongue? What up, Kevin? What up, Chappie? What up, Bobby? All right, I'm gonna hop into my next set here. So again, just holding the bottom position of this dip, and then after about 20 seconds, moving up and up and up and trying to press. It becomes almost impossible. So there we go, just holding this bottom position. I'm gonna stay here for about 10, 15 seconds. Loading my pecs and triceps at both end ranges of motion, and then pressing up and holding here, and then trying to press and actually extend out, which at this point I'm so fatigued it gets almost impossible. And then once my muscles are basically failing, end of that set / rep. What up, Tuck? What up, Uno? What up, TG? Let me know if you have any questions on my training, why I'm doing this. What up, Anthony? What up, Donovan? What up, Dave? What up, Sky? What up, Josh? Stealthy Parlay, welcome in. Ronaldo. What up, Andy? What up, Caleb? So again, I'm resting for like 3 minutes between each set. Not trying to overexert here. What up, Ty? So I started off with isometric bench into an explosive movement. This is just a strict iso, and then I'm going to do some internal rotation with a band, iso into an explosive movement. What up, JC? What up, Caden? What up, Stoneman? What up, Bandit? What up, PT? What up, Abs? What up, Troy? What up, Troy? All right, gonna head into my next set here. So just getting it into that deep position. And I'm doing 4 sets. I started at 3 with obviously like less time. And I'm just building up more and more time as the weeks go on. Some holding here off the ground with my 228 pounds for about 10 to 15 seconds at end range. And then I'm pressing up and holding here for about 5. And then I'm trying to press up and extend out, which is almost impossible now because I'm fully fatigued. And I just press out until I just give up. What up, Josh? What up, Nick? What up, David? What up, Matt? Welcome into the live. Let me know if you have any training questions. Visit my page if you want to know more about my journey. You can go to roadto95.com as well. What up, Leon? What up, Carter? What up, Nick? What up, Parker? What up, Bubba? So I got one more set here, and then we're going to hop into some ER/IR, ISOs, and explosive movement. Not ER/IR, just IR, internal rotation. What up, J-Rod? Thanks for the likes. What up, Cramsey? What up, Joe? What up, Noah? What up, Eric? What up, Zach? Another minute and a half and I'll hop in my next set. What up, Ash? I love doing this day after a nice high intensity mound day. Good for arm care, getting a lot of blood flow. What up, Rick? And of course, building that tendon stiffness, so long term, I stay healthy. It's also very mentally taxing, holding these positions for so long. What up, Josh? All right, so I'm gonna hop into it now. Getting into that end range. Oof. Hold here for 10 to 15. And then press up and hold here for 5. And then push as hard as I can and try to extend. Oof. Which is basically impossible at that point. I'm fully fatigued. What up, Colin? What up, Jose? All right, so we're gonna move now into some, so we'll do them right here. Connection's usually not good over here, but we'll see if we can stay live. Gonna be working on some internal rotation. We'll do it right here. How are you?
How are you?
Doing good?
How are you?
No. Thank you. What up, Ethan? What up, Esteban? What up, JR? So I'm just gonna set up the bands here. We're working on internal rotation through my at release point. So we're gonna do an ISO with a heavy band and then an explosive movement with a light band. So I'm more of like a 3/4 release point kind of guy. So I release from low 3/4, like right here. Maybe a little bit higher, like there. And I'll just hold this. And then grab the light band and go. What up, Billy? What up, Jerry? Gotta fix the camera a little bit. What up, Carter? And I like to do it on the left side too, but more in just like a 90-90, because I don't really throw. But more in just like a 90-90, because I don't really throw. And then fast. What up, Matt? And then I rest for, a good 3 minutes between. Get some water. What up, Cook? What up, Clyde? What up, Ocean? What up, Caden? So my whole workout is just based on overcoming isometrics into an explosive movement. Starting here and then going to the lighter band. What up, Scott? What up, Frankie? We got one more exercise after this. It's a pretty short workout, but it gets a lot done. And I focus a lot on mobility too. And of course I threw, so it's still a long day. Don't want to overtrain. Then I'll be in the sauna too when I'm done. What up, Thomas? What up, Gage? So I got 2 more sets here, and then 1 more exercise. I'm all done for today. What up, Cooper? What up, Trey? What up, David? What up, Josh? What up, Donald? All right. So as hard as I can here, release point. Release point. And then fast through it. And then same thing on the left, but I just do more like a standard ER. So I don't throw with the left. This whole workout's on my page. You can check it out. What up, Gare Bear? This is my upper push day. My Tuesday lift. What up, Colts fan? What up, Joseph? What up, Oliver? What up, Stella? What up, Andrew? What up, Eli? I got 1 more set here, and I'm going to be doing a isometric landmine press with the bands into explosive. What up, Sam? All right. Let's hit this. What up, Case? Last exercise here. Pretty short workout. It's gonna take me about 5 minutes on a session. What up, Reeds? What up, Austin? What up, Breezy? All right, so we got the last exercise here. With this, it's definitely annoying. It's an isometric hold with all the bands and then just the orange band. speed. Now switch to the left side. Same thing. What up, CV? How's it going? Thank you for the likes. Appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions. What up, Sage? How's it going, Sage? I've seen you around. What up, Easton? What up, Bronson? What up, Ryan? What up, Tank? How's it going? What up, Dylan? So this is my last exercise. We're doing isometric, banded, landmine press into explosive landmines. What up, BD? So we're building maximum single arm force, ground force drive. It's pretty much a total body exercise, although it is mainly a push exercise. And then getting the maximum force output and then max speed. So let's hit the next set. So I do all 3 bands first. Push as hard as I can. And then I'll just do the orange band for speed. And you can see that I'm rotating my hips into it as well. It's not just the arm, you know, incorporating my whole body into it. Now left. And I got one more set after this. And then I'm done with my workout. Just gonna do some mobility and then go in the sauna. What up, Franklin? What up, Hatman? What up, Needle? Let me know if you have any questions on my workout, why I'm doing this. What up, Morris? How's it going, Sage? What up, Mason? What up, ADU? What up, Michael? What up, Mitch? Loose as a goose, welcome in. We're about to hit my last set. What up, Ron McDonald? Definitely tired. Long day today with the mound work. What up, Robert? But this workout itself is pretty short. Been working out for about an hour now, maybe a little less. I think I got here like just before 1. What up, Jorge? All right, let's hit the last set. So again, we have the 3 bands here so that we can apply max force. And then transition into max speed. course, repeat on the left side. There we go. Left side. Orange band. Last few reps here. All done for today. So now, just gonna hit some static mobility. What up, Brian? Static mobility to end off my day and recover a little bit in the sauna. First things first, just gonna get really extended here. Lengthening the triceps, shoulder, lats, and then T-spine extension. Just a nice 30-second hold there. Then I'm just gonna do a little bit. I'm gonna do a just adjust the camera a little bit. Just some T-spine holds. Nothing crazy here. You know, this is just about maintaining. I do this, you know, at the end of my upper body days, which is twice a week. So, you know, clearly I have decent hip shoulder, passive, not active, passive range of motion. So I don't really need to do this specifically every day, but I do some sort of T-spine movement, not statically, but some sort of T-spine movement every day. Mainly just as a warm-up. But I'll do this twice a week, you know, 30 seconds each way just to maintain where I'm at. And it just feels nice at the end of a workout to stretch out a little bit, at least for me. All these stretches good for your lower back. Absolutely, Alex. That is also another reason why I do some of these, because I have had some lower back problems in the past. I've hurt myself deadlifting for sure. What else am I gonna do? Forgetting. Oh yeah. Look at all that sweat, by the way. That's when you know you had a good day. Disgusting, but. What up, Ricochet? So this is just like an external rotation hold into the wall, where your back and elbows are out and extended. And I just like to hold this position for about 15, 20 seconds. pushing my hands into the wall and elbows up, and then extending my back, my T-spine. Hit a little dead hang as well. Wall, clearly you're in good shape. Oh, well, clearly. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. I mean, I worked really hard, so I hope I'm in decent shape. I haven't hung today because usually I'll hang before I throw or whatever, but I was at the field, so nowhere really to hang, so I'll hang for a little bit. Do some single arm hangs. Hands are a bit sweaty, so wasn't able to get back up. Ooh, there we go. And I'll just hold this for a little bit. Now I'm going to do some back bridges. Now I'm going to do some back bridges. Good. And last thing I like to do. Good. And last thing I like to do is just a standard ER. And then I'm going to call it, and then go in the sauna, be done. Done. But definitely a great workout. Yeah, good. Do the left side too, even it out. You know, this was an overrated exercise years ago, but now it's an underrated exercise. You know, I think it's still important to train internal rotation a little bit here and there, at least maintain it. You can definitely get deficient over time throwing, so it's easy to misstep on this. Again, I'm just doing this twice a week to maintain where I'm at. Nothing crazy. All right. Thanks for the follow, Just. What up, Hutch? What up, Leighton? So that's going to be it for today. Good throwing session, good workout. Just going to clean up and end the live here. If you have any questions, leave them now. That'll be a great time. Right before I end the live. And if you have any other questions that you think of later, feel free to DM me either here on TikTok or on Instagram. Feel free to DM me either here on TikTok or on Instagram at roadto95. You can also visit my website, roadto95.com, and I have under the services tab, if you scroll down, there's a questionnaire, an intake form to fill out. If you fill